Eric here with Team Eccentric, and I'm bringing you guys my Mermail deck list as of October 2018. This deck has been seeing a lot of testing recently, just in a casual setting, just kind of at home. I have been testing it against some meta decks, however, and it's been holding up really well, to be quite honest with you. I did kind of dedicate this deck to going second. However, I do have some combo pieces that are inherent in a going first scenario that allow you to rip advantage away from your opponent, as Mermails are good at doing. All that being noted, I am also bringing you guys a side deck, or at least a theory of what I would be siding as of right now, only because with the new deck Thunder Dragons entering the fray, Yu-Gi-Oh is going to be a little bit different, considering the fact that Thunder Dragon Colossus specifically is essentially a Thunder King Ryo that is impervious to destruction, as well as as Thunder King Ryo does, prevent searching, and it's a 2600 body. And not only that, but the deck can pump out 3 of those in a turn, given they draw one of their more optimal combos, one of their more optimal bare bones combos, and that's the crazy part. So yeah, you're gonna want to pay attention to what you side and things like that. And I kind of brought you guys kind of what I am siding right now, just to show you how I'm theory crafting for this particular format. It's just one of those things where I just feel like maybe I could have a little bit of insight, and just kind of tell you guys what I think would work. But all that aside, if you'll notice, I have these really cool parallel effect sleeves that I got off of ImperiumDuelist.com. Now, I am not sponsored by them, but one of my personal favorite Yu-Gi-Tubers who's actually in my area is Winter Kills. I will leave a link in the description box below to his channel, so that you guys can check out his content if you haven't seen it before. He's a really great Yu-Gi-Tuber, honestly. I get a lot of inspiration from him when it comes to this deck, mostly. Or at least, a lot of his prior deck profiles. I personally don't play the second Mermail variant, but before he started playing the second variant, I kind of base a lot of my builds along the same thought process as his. So he's really, really good at what he does, though. He's definitely a great player, definitely a great guy. But aside from all that, let's get right on the profile. So we're gonna start off with the main deck. 40 card main deck, so we're obviously playing the One Mooing Glacier, the Elemental Lord. This card is amazing. If you're not playing this in Mermail, I don't know what you're doing. Essentially, this is a delinquent duo. You have 5 waters in grave, you special summon this, rip 2 cards from your hand. I mean, I've said this multiple times before, this card will never leave my Mermail deck as long as I can summon it consistently. So there's that. And now getting into the big Mermails, we're playing 1 lead. This is essentially a mini version of this, where you get to rip cards from your opponent's hand, plus it's summonable off of Goons, or off of Gund, and Goon searches it, just as it searches the Moon Glacier. Really, really good. After that, we're playing the triple Mermail Abyss Megalo. A lot of people have been dropping this to 2. I disagree very heavily. This is one of your OTK enablers. You tribute a face-up attack position water monster and just going for the kill with this. I just feel like it's really, really good. Plus, it searches your Abyss spell trap cards, which can, believe it or not, actually assist you in reducing your opponent's capability to establish, reestablish, or anything of that nature. So moving on, I play triple Mermail Abyss Tias. Abyss Tias is, in terms of raw card economy, probably the best Mermail to invest your resources in, only because it allows you to ditch 1 water and you special summon, and then you search another level 4 or lower Mermail, which can be Gund, Pike, or if you're playing Turges, or if you're playing any particular level 4 or lower Mermail. That just allows you to search. It's really, really good. Moving on to the small Mermails, I'm only playing 3. I play 2 Gund. Being an inherent monster reborn for the deck that's archetype specific is just amazing. And then last but not least, 1 Pike. The Pike is only in here to search the Guns or the Marksmans. I mean, and it's only really in here as a discard outlet in case I draw Dragoons, and you know, no other discard outlets. It's just basically it's a mini version of Teus in a way, where I search the gun. So that's it for my Mermail lineup. It's honestly pretty consistent relative to a lot of the other ratios that I played in the past. So now moving on to the Atlanteans, my personal favorite part of the deck. So triple Neptibus, the Atlantean Prince. This card is the nuts. I will always back this card. This card is amazing. And the fact that you essentially play 5 copies of it in the forms of Deep Sea Diva, 3 copies of this, and 1 for 1. In this variant particularly, because again, I'm not playing the Psychic Light version. I feel like the Psychic Light version is kind of either link spam or bust, which isn't a bad strategy, given that you manage to get those combos off, but you know, it's all dependent upon if your opponent has a hand trap, whereas this at least has some kind of a follow-up play as well as consistency cards in the forms of 1 for 1, Moray of Greed, Upstart Goblin, etc., etc. Not that Psycho's Light is necessarily bad, it's just, to me, it feels like it's kind of a glass cannon. But moving on, we play Triple Dragoons. This is the best searcher in the deck. It allows you to search any sea serpent when it's sent off a water monster. You all know this. You know, I've played this deck for years now, so you all should know how this deck works. I played 2 marksmen. I have been very faithful to this ratio. I feel like it's just great because if marksman does manage to beat over something, you get to special summon your prince, or if you already use your princes, you can special summon heavy infantry and get an additional summon. It's just really good. And then last but not least for the Atlanteans, 2 heavy infantry. This is my Atlantean package. Honestly, it's been working really well. I really like it. I feel like it's very consistent, very standard in terms of the amount of each Atlantean I play. And now moving on, we play the Frog Engine. I have been back and forth on this. However, as of right now, it's been doing wonders for me because you just, this allows you to apply pressure going first. Or this allows you to apply pressure going first for your opponent to force out their hand traps, or to basically say, yeah, you're not activating the hand trap, or going second allows you to apply pressure in the sense that if your opponent has some kind of disruption, this can either bait that out or allow you to just go on with your plays unscathed. So definitely play this. Normally, a lot of people have been actually picking up in terms of the ratio of frogs. Like some people play the Duke Frog as well. I don't see anything wrong with that. I just personally don't have the space for it. I mean, if anything, I would cut the Upstart Goblin, but I feel like that's actually better because I could draw into a Prince rather than play the Duke Frog, which as a card in a vacuum doesn't really help my strategy in any way. So moving on, like I said, this is a dedicated second version of Mermail, so I am playing 3 Gamma Seals just to tribute over my opponent's stuff. This card is still amazing. Kaiju's will never be bad, I don't think, personally. Like, Kaiju's are just great. Just tribute over your opponent's troublesome cards. It's just amazing. Plus the fact that these are secret in the parallel sleeves, they just look like absolutely gorgeous. And then last but not least for the monsters, triple Ash Blossom, just because Ash is the most, I guess you could say, broad hand trap in terms of its versatility. So, you can negate anything summoned from deck, you can negate stuff that searches, it's just amazing. So I just feel like 3 is inherent. I mean, I would consider maybe cutting 1 or throwing it to the side deck and maybe playing 2 Ghost Ogre, but I just feel like Ghost Ogre isn't as versatile as these are, and I would also play the Ghost Bells if I had them, probably instead of the Ghost Ogres, actually, but I don't have Ghost Bells, and that's just the way it is. So, that's that. Now for the spell cards, triple Moray of Greed. Consistency card, I've been back and forth on whether I want to play 2, 3, 1, just the ratio's been all over the place, but as of right now, I've been testing 3, and it's been working pretty well for me. I mean, you can always just play, like, cut 1 and play Pot of Desires instead. I just don't like Desires as a card in this deck because your resources and your resource-intensive plays usually happen from your deck, so I just like to play 3 of these. After that, I'm playing 1 this scale of the Mizuchi. This card is still really good because a lot of decks are playing spells right now, so the card's just amazing. 1 for 1 because, I mean, it's a consistency card. It's an extra copy of Prince, and you want to see Prince as soon as possible, as always. Soul Charge because, I mean, game charge, it is what it is. You can reestablish with this. You can set up an unbreakable board with this. It's just amazing. One Monster Reborn, just because, I mean, it's Monster Reborn, it's a combo extender, and at the same time, if your opponent has some big beater in their graveyard that you want to steal, you can always just do that. And then last but not least, Upstart Goblin, because it's just allows you to play essentially a 39 card deck. So that's it for the main deck. Now we're getting into the extra deck. Now the extra deck, a lot of people probably are going to question, because I'm not playing any Nightmares, but I just don't feel that the Nightmares, again, really contribute to my particular version of the deck. I don't think that the Nightmares are bad in any way. In fact, if anything, you know, you could always honestly switch the Nightmares in for some of this stuff. 2 cards in particular that I can already think of, you could probably switch the Nightmares in for. However, I just like what I'm playing here. I just kind of like, you know, kind of the bare bones, you know, Link 4s and things like that I go into just off of this. So I feel like this is actually generally okay, at least. This is pretty good. So we're gonna start off playing one Borreload Dragon, because I mean, the only way to you know, one of the best ways to out a Borreload is another Borreload. That's really the only reason why I use it. I mean, you can establish it to apply pressure, but I feel like it's more useful as an out to somebody else's Borreload. Firewall Dragon, because it's Firewall Dragon, and you can make this very easily off of Galaxy Tomahawk. One Topologic Trisbane. Now the reason why I'm playing this is because of Altergeist specifically, but other back row decks, you know, kind of fail against this as well. It's just amazing, just being able to banish all your opponent's back row. It's just great. So. One Proxy Dragon, because you need something to put next to the Firewall Dragon. One Starboy, because I mean it's a Starboy, I mean why else? One Link Karibo, because Link Karibo is amazing, and one Link Spider, because you need something to put on top of the Firewall Dragon. So that's it for the Link. The Link ratio, honestly, I really enjoy where it is. I was considering putting in an Underclock Taker. I feel like this extra deck does need an Underclock Taker, and I already kind of have an idea of what I want to take out, but at the same time I have been testing that card that I want to take out, and it's been doing well as well, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it just kind of depends on the day, you know, whether or not I want to switch out for that. But now moving on, so for the rank 7 XCs, we play one Gaios, because Gaios is still really powerful. In fact, if anything, in my personal opinion, it's more powerful than ever in the fact that it can negate all monsters whose attack points are lower than it, and you know, if your opponent has just a bunch of Link 2s on board, you can just negate everything. You know, it's bigger than Firewall, so like you can, if your opponent doesn't have you know, a Saryuja on top of a Firewall, then you can detach, negate, and on top of that, it keeps level 5 or higher monsters from attacking while it has executed material. You guys have seen me play this card before. It's just great. It's amazing. And now for the second rank 7, number 42 Galaxy Tomahawk. I have so many copies of these because I bought so much Primal Origin back in the day, back when I played Boojins. So this card is the Absolute Stones. Detaching 2, summoning as many tokens as you can fit on the field. This card puts in work. Granted, I usually don't ever go into this card, you know, mid to late game. I usually try and make this like an early game card if I can manage to acquire the resources to summon out a Firewall and co-link it with other stuff. It's really its biggest use in my personal opinion, but it is a really great card nonetheless. Next, for the XCs, we play 2 totally awesome. One for the Toad, for the Frog package, and one for the Bahamut Shark. After that, Bahamut Shark, as you know, speak of the devil. One Abyss Dweller, because it's water and it triggers Dragoons and it stops your opponent's grave effects, especially good against True Draco and mirror matching Mermail. And then last but not least, the card that I would put an Underclock Taker over, Evil Storm Exciton Knight. I mostly play this in case I have a Prince in hand with a Dragoons in grave with a Pike that I can normal summon, and that does happen actually quite often. And you know, I have to clear out a board or something, I can, you know, always overlay into this and just blow up the board. But I have been considering Underclock over this so that I can try and triple co-link my Firewall to bounce back 3. But I don't know, this card just seems like it is extremely useful in a deck that can make right for is the way this deck does. Granted, you don't trigger Dragoons off of this, but it's still pretty good. And then the last card in the extra deck is one Synchro in the form of Brio. And the reason why I play the Brio is because I am playing the Gamma Seals, so you can tribute over your opponent's stuff, ditch for cost with using this to bounce back the Gamma Seal, and then you get your, you know, whatever, you know, triggers off of your Atlanteans and whatnot, and then you get to tribute over another monster with the Gamma Seal you bounce back. So it's essentially just, you know, looping Gamma Seals, I guess you could say. And that's it for the main deck and the extra deck. And now for the side deck. Now, this is purely theory crafting for this coming format, with Thunder Dragons now being introduced in Soul Fusion. So, you know, obviously I am not, you know, as competitive as I used to be. So, you know, if there are any, you know, disagreements you have with this side deck, I completely understand, and I'd like to hear your opinion in the comment section below, respectfully. You know, just you know, let me know what you think, and if you have any ideas on what you would personally side. So, I am siding the 3 sphere modes, because if your opponent sets up 3 monsters, you can, this essentially wastes your normal summon, but I'd rather waste a normal summon and tribute over 3 of my opponent's boss monsters than, you know, not be able to do anything at all. So, 3 sphere mode, 3 Droll and Lockbird. I figure Droll and Lockbird's still a really inherently good hand trap. It's just, you know, especially against the mirror match, you know, I mean, Mermails do add a lot of cards from deck to hand, so this card is amazing. After that, I play Triple Forbidden Chalice, because you know, turn 1 Dwellers are still a thing, and on top of that, you can always chalice your opponent's Thunder Dragon Colossus, so that you can go off with plays if they only have 1 on board, so that actually helps. After that, I'm playing Double Call by the Grave. I am siding these. I know a lot of people are maining these in a deck like this, you know, where combos are, you know, very intense and very resource intensive, so, you know, hand traps kind of screw you over. However, I've been noticing that a lot of people have been not playing as many hand traps in the main deck, so you know, you can kind of get away with siding this. And even if your opponent does hand trap you, like, you are playing the frogs in the main deck, and that is also an inherent out, so you can always just use the frogs. Specifically 4 Thunder Dragons, 2 Book of Eclipse. Now, the reason why I play 2 Book of Eclipse is because if they do have, you know, 2 or 3 Thunder Dragon Colossus on board or something like that, Book of Eclipse allows you to flip everything face down, and it's a quick play spell, so it's not you know, susceptible to back row removal. And what's good about it is that you just flip all your opponent's monsters face down until the end phase. So you know, if you have a Prince in hand, you can go off with your plays, and it doesn't target and it doesn't destroy. And you know, considering the fact that you know, the Thunder Dragon boss monster is impervious to destruction, this kind of outs it. It's just really good side deck card in my personal opinion. And the last 2 side deck cards are 2 Twin Twisters, because we do have back row decks running around, namely Altergeists and things like that. Really annoying. Not only that, but this allows you to out like multi-roll and stuff like that. It's just really good. So this is the side deck that I'm siding right now. Obviously, if you have any other ideas, any other opinions, you know, feel free to voice them respectfully in the comment section below. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very open to constructive criticism, as long as it's you know, dealt with some kind of a capacity of respect. I really appreciate it, guys. That is my Mermail profile as of right now. It's still in testing. I have some new matches up with this deck as well. I have 2 against DDDs, same player. It was against Connor, and you know, 1 it was just a horrible game for me, and then 2 I decided the next night to play this deck again and you know, kind of do a grudge match type thing. So check that out, guys. I will leave a link in the comments. Link in the description box below, so that you guys can kind of see some of these matches that I've been filming. I've been filming a lot of matches now that skateboarding's been cut short, but it's just one of those things where, like, once winter comes, I basically just start playing Yu-Gi-Oh! More consistently. I don't know about if I'm going to be attending any locals or anything again. I mean, we'll see. It just kind of depends on how I feel about the community. You know, the community around where I live is kind of weird. It's not really the most open, you know, respectful community ever. So, but all that being noted, Eric here with Mermails, October 2018, still living the dream. Signing out. Team Eccentric out. Rate and subscribe, leave your comments and ideas in the comment section below, and don't hesitate to give us respectful suggestions on content you want to see. Eric on behalf of the team saying take care, and Team Eccentric out.